Mezco recently released their 112 version of the mask, and let me tell you, it's quite the fun figure. Alright, starting off with the front of the box, here we have the title, figure, and lots of cool comic panels in the background. On the side, we have a title up top and the figure in the pose. Moving on to the back, we have an organized format to showcase all the included accessories, as well as some photography of the figure on the bottom. The other side is the same, we've got the 112 logo on the top, and blah blah on the bottom. But who cares about this shabby piece of cardboard anyways? We want the sexy fella that's inside, trapped by all this excess plastic. So let's hurry up, get him out, and take a good old look at him. Starting off the accessories, here we have the base head sculpt with the different eye expressions and signature big smile. Our second head sculpt is a more sinister expression with a bullet wound on his forehead with blood trailing down to the chin. And the final head sculpt, which in my opinion is one of the coolest head sculpts I've seen on any figure. This head sculpt is meant to portray crazy movement in his head, and the sculpt work on it is just insane. In any photo, it looks like it's moving. Moving on to the hands, we've got the open relaxed hands he comes packaged with, your standard fists for punching, some very much needed trigger finger hands to shoot a whole arsenal of guns, and here we have two more hands that are different on each side, probably to hold the barrel of a gun, or even other accessories that are included. And for only the right side, you've got a pointing hand. Now for the guns, you've got a classic revolver, very well sculpted, good details, and you can even spin this part around. Next up, we've got an Uzi that comes with a magazine on the bottom that you can remove, as well as an extra magazine.
And last but not least, my favorite. A Tommy gun!
It also comes with a removable magazine and an extra one in case you lose it. At the edge of the guns, you'll see they have a little hole in them, and that's to fit all the effect pieces. So we'll start off with this small shooting effect that has a bullet flying on the end of it. Next up is this bigger blasting effect, probably meant for the Tommy gun. And then we have a similar piece of the first one with a slightly bigger blast. Now, if you ask me, these weapons aren't crazy enough for this guy, but these ones are. First of the crazy weapons, we've got this huge pistol-like gun with what seems like rockets on the front, and a lot of details all around. But if you look closely, you can see a split down the middle, because you can actually switch out the ends of this gun. So for the second attachment, instead of rockets, we've got a lot of revolvers, and you can also place the shooting effects on them too. Our next gun looks like a mix of a rifle with parts of a minigun. A lot of details all throughout the gun, with swappable magazines on the bottom, and a cute rubber ducky on the top. And on one side of the gun, you can also clip in a line of bullets. And the last weapon we've got in the arsenal, a good old-fashioned bomb. And like with every other Mezco 112 figure, you also get a stand correlated to the character, as well as a little bag for all your accessories. Also, last thing, one thing I noticed while taking pictures, this head sculpt is a little translucent so you can see light shining through it a bit, which I thought was pretty cool. Now it's time to see how good this guy can move. Starting with the head, you can look this far up and this far down. You get some extremely good head movement all around, tilting and turning in every direction, along with an articulated neck for that little bit of extra movement. So keep in mind he is in a suit, so the articulation you see will obviously be more hindered than a figure with less or more flexible clothing. And with that said, you can move your arms this high forwards and this high backwards. And I honestly can't tell if it has butterfly joints or not, but if you happen to know, please let me know in the comments. You get a really good bend at the elbow even with the suit on, and an all-around movement on the wrists as usual. And almost forgot, but you get bicep swivel as well. For the body, you get a diaphragm cut and a ball joint at the waist, which allows you to bend this far back and about this far forwards. You can also get some rotation and tilt from both joints on the body. You'll only be able to lift the legs up this far to the side, and that's obviously because of the pants. Your legs can kick this high up, and just like the elbows, a really good bend at the knees. Can't forget the thigh swivel, and unfortunately no boot swivel with those socks, but you get the standard all-around movement on the ankles. So in the end, this is exactly the articulation I expected from a figure like this. Especially for someone in a suit, it wouldn't be the easiest thing to do extreme movements. Even then though, I think the articulation on this figure is still great. You can still get in some decent poses, and the bend for the elbow and knees are very good and not restricted at all. Now to size up this guy next to some of your other favorite 112 lines, here we have the mask next to the Mafex reissue Peter B. Parker and Nightfall Bane. For some more Mezco figures, here we have Vapor and Atticus Doom. I love that they're all different sizes. Next up we have the SHF Romance Dawn Luffy and SHF Gojo. For Amazing Yamaguchi, we've got none other than Captain America and the Winter Soldier. For some miscellaneous figures, here we have the Keep Going Studio White Ghost and Unparalleled Universe's very own Odious. Coming in for Marvel Legends is Ghost Rider and the King in Black 2-pack Venom, and Jada Toys Ryu. Now, I am young, and thanks to the Jim Carrey movie, usually when I think of the mask, I have this look in mind. I personally didn't know until more recently that there was actually comics about the guy first. So when I saw this figure get announced, I was caught off guard by the look. But honestly, I've come to love it. It's no surprise Mezco always delivers with next level soft goods on their figures, and always accompany their figures with some of the best and sometimes more different accessories than other companies tend to make or add. What's great about this character too is I think he can fit in well with any verse. He's just that goofy type of character. Photograph or display him with Marvel characters, DC characters, anime characters, I think any would work and he wouldn't feel out of place. I definitely recommend this figure. Even if you're not all that knowledgeable about the character like myself, he's still fun to mess around with. Anyways, that brings us to the end of the video. Leave a comment on what figure you'd like me to review next. If you'd like to see more pictures of all these figures I review plus more, make sure to go follow my Instagram. And if you found this review helpful, consider leaving a like to help out the channel, and subscribe for future reviews on more figures. And as always, see you guys later, and have a great time collecting.